Welcome to this new tutorial where I'm going to show you my top 10 picks from GeoPandas, which is the core library in Python to deal with vector data. This is also kind of a teaser to my ongoing geospatial data science courses on the new Science of Maps platform, so if you want to learn more, just check the description and the website. And now let's get started with the basic setup. So I will import a few things here. I will define our target area, which is going to be Edinburgh, and then I will add a few lines of code to download the data, especially buildings, POIs, and road segments. And then I will add a few more things here just to make sure that all the figures are properly and consistently labeled, colored. And here you can also see that we will have about 5,000 buildings in this dataset with about 2,000 POIs and 4,000 road segments. So here, let's assume that we don't know anything about GeoPandas yet. You just run this piece of code here, the setup part, which, by the way, will ensure that you have the right input data on your computer. The first thing we will learn here is to read a GeoPandas data frame using the read file function, where we can also print the number of features and, for example, the CRS of the incoming dataset. We can also have a quick look on this, where it shows that it has a few different types of columns, and we can even visualize it to see how the loaded building dataset looks like. Then comes the second part of my top 10 list, which is the toCRS function, which lets us to transform one GeoPandas data frame into another, switching from one CRS to another. For example, moving from the long-let system to one using the local metric system, which we can also visualize, and you will see that from these coordinates and also this aspect ratio, we will be moving to a little bit different version where we have local meter-based labels along the axis. Now that we moved to a metric system, let's compute areas and length on the GeoPandas data frame by simply calling the area function of every single geometry in the metric GeoPandas data frame we have, and we can also do a quick statistics on that and also visualize it very quickly. This way now we have a visualization where every single building in this bounding box where we collected data from is colored based on its total footprint area. Now comes my item number 4, and with that we are moving from the single geometry to the double geometry domain and learn how to join the POI and the building dataset using a spatial join. For that, first let's turn the POIs into the metric system as well, and then we will just run a very simple spatial join command where we can also query how many of the POIs. Remember, we have about 2,000 POIs, about half of them fall inside buildings. A quick note, this data is coming from OpenStreetMap, which means that this is community sourced, so probably not all of them were properly cleaned or cleanly assigned to the database. That's why there are many POIs outside of buildings. Here, the joined table is going to be a set of points, so these are the POIs which are within buildings, but I want to show you which buildings have POIs, so which are the matched buildings, which is going to be a smaller data frame. Here now we have it using the intersect function. And as you can see here, we only have 800 buildings here, which means that there are some buildings which have multiple POIs. And we can also place these all on a map, where now the buildings which have POIs are colored red, and the ones without any POIs are left gray. Also, the POIs are these little red dots with the same color for now, showing that there are a whole bunch of POIs which are close enough to buildings but not mapped to buildings. Here, one possible solution would be to use buffer, which we will cover very soon. But before that, I want to show you this thing called dissolve, which is very handy when we want to merge geometries. So, for example, the roads, and let's also turn them into the metric system, are coming with many line strings in one single data frame. But if we want to dissolve them, for example, along a specific column like the highway column, then we can just say by highway, and then every single highway category will be mapped into its own single line string. So here if we just pick one and plot it, then this will be Okay, maybe this tag is actually not super popular, then let's take a sample. Yep, so this is now one single element of the data frame with all these line segments joined into one single multi-line string. And if we want to turn the whole city into one single dissolved or merged geometry, then we can just dissolve everything into one single geometry. And if we color each road segment based on its type, like the one we have here in the highway column, and compare that to this multi-gigantic dissolve version, then we will see that here we have this original network with many different types of highway tags and road segments. And here we have one that's just one big unified graph. Then we can also move on to the overlay, which is the 6th in this top 10 list, which combines two polygon layers with certain set operations, which you might already know from Shapely, which can be intersection, union, and difference. So for that, first let's create the very center of this bounding box of this scene, and then turn it into a zone. If you have seen the Shapely tutorial, then you have seen this already, this little trick. If not, then I recommend to go back there and revisit that part. So here we will have a zone, which is a circular area within this scene. And if we do the overlay, then we will actually capture everything that's inside this area. So that's a smaller subset, which we can actually visualize very quickly. So this is going to be all the buildings within this 400-meter radius area. Then if we want to clip the dataset, for example, the roads, then we can also use this zone as kind of a mask and just clip it at the boundaries. Then number 8 on my top list of GeoPandas commands is buffer, which adds, as it does in Shapely, a certain buffer range zone around every single geometry in our data frame. Now let's call them corridors and add them around the clipped road segments here. And to make sure that we see it, let's visualize it. Yep, so this is how all the road segments look like if they have this 15-meter buffer. If we go down to 5, then it's a bit less bulky. Then we had dissolve, and now we have explode, which is essentially the inverse. So if we have a data frame with multi-polygons and multi-line strings, like this one here, which is a large multipoly containing all the buildings joined together, but if we explode it into its parts, then we will get back the original building dataset with more than 8,000 single parts, which we can also visualize very quickly, coloring each building at random. And finally, once we are done with exploring our data file, the last thing there is left to do is to write it inside a file. For example, we can export this circular clip or crop of the dataset into a GeoPackage or GeoJSON if you wish. We can also add that. We could also save a shapefile, but I don't recommend that one. And we can always read in and check what we just exported to make sure it's correct. Yep, it's correct. And with that, we arrive to the end of this quick tutorial. If you liked it and you want to learn more, just check the code on my Substack and check out my courses on the New Science of Maps website. See you next time.